Human Poverty Index, HPI. What is Human Poverty Index? Human Poverty Index was introduced by the United Nations Development Report in 1997. The objective of Human Poverty Index is to measure the extent of deprivation and the degree of poverty in a country. The HPI or Human Poverty Index uses the same parameters as are used in the Human Development Index. We know that in the construction of Human Development Index, we use three parameters such as longevity, knowledge, and the level of standards. These three parameters are also used in the construction of Human Poverty Index. But besides the three parameters which are included in Human Development Index, HPI also includes some other parameters. These parameters are number one, vulnerability to death at a relatively early age as measured by percentage of people with probability of death before the age of 40 years. Simply speaking, vulnerability to death before the attainment of 40 years. This is an important parameter which is included in Human Poverty Index. The second one is adult illiteracy rate. Please note, it is not literacy rate, but it is illiteracy rate. Adult illiteracy rate as measured by percentage of illiterate adults in total adult population. That means in total adult population, what is the percentage of adult illiteracy? That is also counted as a part of the construction of Human Poverty Index. The third thing is living standards. Living standards are measured by three variables. These variables are: one is the access of the people to health services. That means how much percentage of people have got access to health services. The second one is safe drinking water. The question is whether you get safe drinking water or not. That means access of the people to safe drinking water. The third one is malnourished and underweight children below the age of 5 years. How many children below the 5 years remain malnourished and underweight? So these are the three variables based on which living standard is assessed in the construction of Human Poverty Index. Human Poverty Index is the average of the above components and measures deprivation on a scale of 1 to 100. The countries with the high HDI rankings have lower Human Poverty Index rankings. In India, the HPI value is around 30, showing a medium level of deprivation. So India is a medium level deprived country according to the Human Poverty Index. Now we will come to sense capability approach. This is very important in the discussion of development or human development particularly. You know that the capability approach was first articulated by the Indian economist and philosopher Amartya Sen in 1980s, and it remains most closely associated with his name even today. Capability approach has been employed extensively in the context of human development. For example, by the United Nations Development Programme as a broader, deeper alternative to narrowly economic metrics such as growth in GDP per capita. Here, that is in capability approach, poverty is understood as deprivation in the capability to live a good life, and development is understood as capability expansion. So, poverty is understood as deprivation in our capability to live a good life. That is what is called poverty, according to Amartya Sen's capability approach. And what is development? Development is understood as the capability expansion. If you are able to increase your capability, that is what is called development. The capability approach is defined by its choice of focus upon the moral significance of individuals' capability of achieving the kind of lives they have reason to value. So, if you are able to achieve the kind of lives that you have a reason to value, then that is what's called capability approach. This distinguishes from the more established approaches to ethical valuation, such as utilitarianism and resourcism, which focus exclusively on subjective well being or the availability of means to the good life, respectively. So it is quite different from the utilitarian approach and ethical evaluations. Uh, the sense capability approach could be distinguished and must be distinguished from utilitarianism and ethical evaluation approaches to development. A person's capability to live a good life is defined in terms of the set of valuable beings and doings, like being in good health. So, being in good health is a sign of development, or having loving relationship with others to which they have real access. So, a person's capability to live a good life. What does it mean? To live a good life simply means means beings and doings. That simply means person's capability to live a good life is defined in terms of the set of valuable beings and doings, like being in good health or having loving relationship, like that. Sen argues that the goal of development is to expand the capabilities of the people to live the lives they choose to lead. Income is one factor in determining such capabilities and outcomes, but it is not only the one. Sen argues that we need to look beyond income poverty. Sen identified four broad factors that condition how well income can be converted into the capability to live a minimally acceptable life. First one is personal heterogeneities, including age, proneness to illness, or the extent of disabilities. Second, environmental diversities, for example, exposure to specific climate requiring different expenditures for shelter, clothing, etc. Third, variations in social climate, the impact of crime, civil unrest, and violence. Fourth, differences in relative deprivation, being relatively impoverished in a richer society reduces the capability to take part in the life of that community. The ideas and views of Amartya Sen have been influential within the international community and can be seen in the World Bank's World Development Report 2000-2001. And this report is devoted to the topic of how to expand the the entitlement, capabilities, and freedom of poor people.